channel. My name is Brittany Bundles, and today's video is going to be a what's on my nails video. Plus, I'm going to be answering a question that I get very often. And the question is, how did I get corporate jobs or jobs in corporate America or professional type of jobs with long, curved, loud nails most of the time? I'm going to be answering that question because, like I said, it's a question that I get very often, and I think it's very interesting as far as my perception, my perspective on the matter. And I would get asked even when I was working the jobs or even when I was interviewing about my nails. So I'm going to share some tips and also my experience on how I did land jobs like that with, nails that were kind of outside of the norm for that industry. So if you are interested in seeing what's on my nails plus hearing my story, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and let's get right into the video. So if you watched the last What's on My Nails video, then you know that I was recently introduced to gems. As far as me putting, I don't want to say that I was introduced. I knew about gems, but I really have never tried to add gems on my nails. When I was going to the salon, I didn't have my nail tech put gems on my nails. And like I said, I've never put them on myself either. So I decided to go ahead and order some. I did order some from Amazon, and I played around with them for the first time in the last video when I did my nails about 2-3 weeks ago. I did notice that the gems were not staying on like I wanted them to. Now, granted, I did go on a vacation. So I did go to the Rocky Mountains and I did pack, unpack. I was more active than I typically would be in my normal day-to-day life. So that definitely could have had an impact. I'm sure it had an impact on why the gems didn't last as long. But knowing that, I didn't want to add too many gems to my nails this time, to be honest. I did try to add a few to each hand, and then I was like, no, I don't even want to add a few. So I just have one on each hand. I do think that the design or the pattern that I went for this time would have definitely looked better with more gems. However, I just don't want the hassle of having to, continuously glue the gems back on. And even if a gem falls off, I know you don't have to necessarily glue them back on, but it bugs me. I don't want to look down and I can clearly see a gem missing. I don't like the way it looks. So I was constantly going back to my gem box and putting more gems back on my nails to fill in where they fell off. And I'll have to try to perfect my technique a little better, because I did think that putting glue on the gems instead of using gel to adhere them would work better. And I didn't think that I would have or experience as many gems falling off as I did, but I did. The first couple days were fine, but as the weeks progressed and as like I said, was more active with my hands, traveling, vacationing, I did notice that the gems were falling off. But without further ado, I'm going to show you what my nails look like this time. So this is what they look like. As you can see, I did one gem. I do think that these nails would have looked better with more gems. However, I don't think that they look bad. I think they still look cute and pretty. I did do cat eye. This is my first time doing cat eye with a different color other than black and pretty much black. Like I did black, and then the cat eye would be like a streak of purple, but typically, my whole nail predominantly was the color black. So I thought it was pretty cool to find a cat eye in a purple color. I also decided to do 2 nails, just like a clear glittery color. Why is this one bluer? Blue right here. I don't know. It's not supposed to be blue right here. I think that I didn't really file all the blue off. That's what it has to be. I didn't file all the blue off from the last set, so this nail looks a little bit bluer, more blue than this one, but whatever, they're okay. I didn't notice that until just now. Like, I'm serious, I did not notice that. So that may end up bothering me to the point that I have to go back and change it, but this is what they look like. I have been getting compliments on them. I was in, was it Walmart the other day, and the clerk gave me a compliment on the nails. She said they were really pretty. I also got a compliment at 7-Eleven. So just running around doing errands, I got compliments on them. Not saying that I do them for the compliments, but it's always nice to hear nice words about, whatever you're trying to do. This nail right here, I do not like how the shape turned out. I ended up having to file pretty much all of the nail off because it was lifting really bad. I didn't want to just glue it back down and, go ahead and do my typical fill routine. So I went ahead and I filed most of that nail off in the beginning, or at the, top of my nail. And, I tried to reconstruct the nail the best that I could. And this is how it ended up turning out. It's not horrible, but again, like I mentioned in every video, I'm not a professional. I'm just learning as I go, and I'm getting better with every try, in my opinion. Now, again, this blue, I did not notice that, and this, I think it's going to bother me. I really do think it's going to bother me because I did not see that at first. But this is what my nails look like. These are my nails up close, minus the blue right here that I didn't notice. And I've had these done for about probably the whole week. I've had these on for like a week. So other than this blue, I really like them. So let me know what you think in the comments. I think it's different, but still kind of, you know, kind of cute. And I did my toes this color. I didn't do the exact same pattern. I just, you know, did this color and that was it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into answering the question that I typically get. So the question is, I wrote notes so that I wouldn't forget where I'm going with this video. So how did I land corporate jobs with extremely long nails? Now, this is a question that I would get. And also, I was really nervous when I first started applying for jobs because a lot of people in my family would tell me to, and not even just in my family, friends too, and even people that I didn't even ask their opinion, they would just throw it, you know, give me their opinion anyway, and would say, hey, if you're applying for this job, I really think you should cut your nails down. I really think you should have a French manicure. I really think you should have, you know, a clear color on your nails. And, you know, I don't hate anyone's advice. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But ultimately, like I say in every video, do what works best for you. So I had to figure out what works best for me. I've had nails on since I was in middle school. I love nails. I just do. My nails grow long. You know, I don't need nails, but I love them. I love wearing nails. You know, even when, you know, people, my mom used to say, you can grow your nails out and just polish them. I like the added thickness that an overlay or tips give you. That's just my personal preference. So I knew when I was applying for jobs that I didn't want to take my nails off, and I knew that I didn't want to cut them down extremely short. Now, if you've been following my nail journey, you know, I do go from short to extremely long. These are not the longest nails that I've ever worn. So I'm not talking about nails like this. And also, you know, I've had louder designs than this applying for jobs too, not just this. For me, this would seem something, this would kind of seem subtle to me. It's not too long, not too short, and the colors aren't really like, whoa, out at you. So if you do want to see how my nails were looking, I'll try to find a video, my most recent video of when I had really long curved nails, but I'm talking about, you know, even when my nails were longer than that, you know, longer than what's displayed in the video. But I'll link that video down below if you want to see it. But I kind of struggle, you know, I struggled with that in the beginning because I'm like, man, you know, what hairstyle should I wear? What type of nails should I have on? What type of dress should I, you know, or blazer should I wear to land this job? Because, you know, as many of you know, first impressions are very, very important. And so when you are going for an interview, a lot of times people size you up based on what you look like. And so I had to make a choice. Now, I chose not to cut my nails down, and this is how I found how to incorporate my nails in my jobs. So the first thing that I did is I always would sell myself, and I would incorporate my nails in the conversation in the interview as a way to kind of break the ice. So when I went in, I tried to train my mind to not necessarily focus on what I was self-conscious about, but to focus on what I was confident about. And that's a really, really good technique in, you know, pretty much every area of my life, just like public speaking. When I was doing a public speaking event, I remember telling my grandmother, like, man, I'm a little nervous because I don't have a PowerPoint and all of these other presenters have PowerPoint. So I hope that my presentation isn't going to be less exciting or less informational because, or less professional because I don't have this PowerPoint. And my grandmother, she is so wise. I thank God for her, but she's taught me so much. But she said, don't focus on that. You know, don't even bring that up, because a lot of people will bring up what they don't have to compensate for, compensate for their insecurities. You know, they'll just say, hey, and sometimes I do it too. Like, I don't know if I said it in the beginning of the video, but if I didn't, I was going to give a disclosure about my hair. I just got out of the shower and it's not done, it's drying. So I was going to give a disclosure about that. But pretty much when you're not certain about something, or when you know something isn't at its best, a lot of times we try and, you know, we can get insecure about it, or we can try and overcompensate for it. But what I try to do is focus on my mission. So my mission is trying to get this job. So I would sell myself. I would still stay focused on the interview, still stay focused on, what makes me a good fit for the company, still stay focused on the information that I researched about the company ahead of time, still stay focused on how my experience is going to benefit this company and, benefit this position that they're looking to fill. And then I would bring my nails in as a way to break the ice. So a lot of times in interviews, I would see people's eyes glancing down at my nails. I would just see it, whether I'm writing something or whether I'm just holding my hands like this on the table, or whether I'm even doing like this. Even if I had to like lift my hand up to move my hair out of my face, I would see their eyes going to my nails. And so I would bring them up somehow in a joke. I can't really think of any jokes that I said offhand, but I would just say something that incorporated my nails. Like, if they were saying, how do you handle upset customers? Well, I don't think anyone wants to argue with me with these nails. No, just joking. So what I typically do is I listen to them, I allow them to vent, I show empathy, and I mirror back what their concern is, and then I follow up with a resolution on how I can fix it. I take full responsibility. I don't point the blame on my coworkers. I say we, because we are a team. There's not one position that's more important than the other. Things like that. So I say that, I get the elephant out of the room. I know you're looking at my nails. I know they're here. They're not really going anywhere. But I bring it up in a way that it introduces them to the conversation. And then typically what would happen is they would be like, whoa, so how long have you been growing those nails? And whoa, those are some funky designs. Like, tell me about them. Where do you get them done? And it would bring a conversation. So it's like, it brings out another side of them in a way. And it brought out like another side of me. So we're professional, we're having this interview, but then we also are taking a side note down, my nails and the way that it allows me to express myself. Also, another way that I was able to land corporate jobs with long nails that were not, like nude. Sometimes I would go into interviews with like nuder nails and with French manicures. But then as I got into corporate America, I just stopped doing that. I was like, I'm not going to go to the nail shop the day before my interview, change my polish, I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to use, have the nails that I currently have, and I'm going to, work through them. So the next thing that I would do is I showed that I could do my job task with my long nails. So I showed that my long nails were not hindering my performance. A lot of jobs that I applied for, they had typing tests. So you would have to, type at a certain speed and a certain accuracy in order to land the jobs. And so I would always score pretty high on my typing test. And they would, say, you did that with those nails. Oh my gosh, how can you type like that with those nails? I've even had people, while I was working in the bank, I'm typing, working up a loan application, and people would stand over my shoulder like, how is she typing with those nails? So I showed them that my nails aren't going to interfere with my job. Typically, that's what I would think that their concern would be. Okay, are her nails going to interfere with what she's doing? Because if they're not, at that point, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. What's the point of worrying about what someone has on their fingers if they can still use their fingers efficiently, effectively, and get the job done? Now, I know some of you may be thinking, well, are the customers going to think some kind of way? Well, like I say in a lot of my videos, if you have not tuned into my entrepreneurial videos, I recommend do so. I empower people through entrepreneurship in my podcast and also on this channel. So if you haven't listened to my podcast, tune into that too. It's down below. It's completely free to listen. Go ahead, listen. And I talk about more of my, entrepreneurial experiences there. It gives you a way to express yourself. It gives you a way to, for me, like I talk about a lot of times in my videos, I talk about building on relationships. So a lot of times the nails would be a way for me to break the ice, even with potential customers and clients, and start a conversation there, because a lot of people are interested in things they don't see on the daily. Typically, if you go into a bank or a credit union, you're not seeing your loan officer with extremely long nails. At least in the credit union that I worked at, it wasn't something that you saw daily. So it was something that kind of helped me stick out, and not in a bad way, but it's something that helped me stick out. I also learned this with tattoos, because there was for so long we had to cover, I don't have any tattoos, but the credit union employees would have to cover tattoos until there was a change in the policy where you could wear tattoos. Because I don't know, I just feel like, and the people that did have tattoos, I would notice that a lot of people would come up to them and ask questions about their tattoos. So it was like people were asking questions, and it was another segue to build relationships, because it was something that wasn't in the quote unquote norm. So, that's the second reason that I wanted to point out, wasn't hindering my job performance. And then the third thing that I want to point out, as far as why I think I was able to land, or why I know I was able to land corporate jobs with long curved nails, is because a lot of companies are they like to promote that they have a diverse culture. They like to promote that they love the fact that they have an environment where their employees can be themselves. And so I would use that with them. You know, I would use, you know, what they're saying, if it's true, in conversation. So I would constantly, not every day, but, you know, in conversation, I would thank them. I thank you so much for, you know, allowing diversity in this workplace. I thank you for allowing me to be myself. I thank you for allowing me to not have to cut my nails to fit inside of your box. You know, that's one reason why I love working for this company, because you allow us to express ourselves and you allow us to be free, as long as it's not, you know, you can express yourself, as long as it's not offensive to someone else or dangerous to the company or dangerous to customers or, you know, dangerous to anyone. But if it's nails or hair, it's like, it's an expression. It's an expression of who you are. If it's not hindering your job, your performance, like I said, if you're not hurting anyone, you know, I really didn't see the big problem. And then jobs that would be so strict where I couldn't wear a certain hairstyle or I couldn't wear my nails a certain way, they could decide that I wasn't their fit and I would decide that they're not my fit. And the interview process is not just for the company to decide if they want you, but it's also a chance for you to see, do I want to work for a company like this? And I really didn't want to work for a company that wouldn't allow me to express who I was. I'm like, you know, sometimes getting my nails done was my only form of like, I don't want to say freedom, my only form of like alone time and pampering time to myself. So I'm like, I'm definitely not cutting that out. And I don't want to feel like I have to wear just a certain polish or a certain color in order to, you know, work here. Now, of course, there are different jobs, like, you know, if you work in the health field and things like that, where there are important health reasons as to why you can't wear polish or as to why you can't wear nails and things like that. But at the credit union and call centers and different jobs that I was working in or working at, you know, there wasn't really any health reason as to why I couldn't wear the nails. So that's how I did it. Those are my tips. That's how I did it. If you do have long nails and if you're worried about them getting in the way of any potential job that's not like, you know, I don't know how the health field works, but I've been told by a lot of people that they can't wear nails and polishes just for, you know, healthy reasons or health reasons. And I respect that completely. But if it's a job where you're trying to get a job as like a loan officer or wanting to get a job as like a financial advisor or another job in corporate America, you can definitely do it. My best advice is to not go in thinking that you are less of a qualified candidate because of how your nails look. If you have it in your mind that you're not going to get the job because of your nails, typically that's going to show. You're going to be very self-conscious, and it may come across that you're very insecure, that you're trying to hide something. So I just lay it on the table and I incorporate that in the interview, and it's really worked well for me. And then, you know, as you know, if you've been watching this channel, eventually I got out of corporate America and I began running my own business. And so at this point, I can wear whatever I want to wear and I can still get my job done. I don't really have to sell myself to, you know, a boss per se, in order to be able to do my job and to come to work. So if you are wanting to start your own business, you know, definitely tap in. Click the links down below. I have different business options. Visit my website, which is badshakira.com. I have different tools for people that are wanting to get started on their entrepreneurial journey. So I really hope that you all like what's on my nails. I really hope that you like the advice and the, I guess, you know, story time kind of that I provided, or story times or experiences. That's better. The experiences that I provided. And if you have any questions or input, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.